How do we look? We're shining.
Fucking sun is good. I thought it was going to be like in the 20s today, someone told me.
Before we start the music, just introduce yourself.
My name is Flea. I'm a musician and, denizen.
I'm going to play you some songs. You just have to tell me who the artist is.
I'll tell you, like, what color it makes me see.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Oh, Herbie Hancock! Ow!
Tell me about Herbie Hancock.
Well, let me tell you this first. Like, when I was in high school and I was playing trumpet in the marching band at Fairfax High School in Los Angeles, California, all we wanted to do was play Chameleon. Every day in the marching band with tuba, it was like, bow, 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 but those trumpets. It's a great song and really like a groundbreaker. Herbie Hancock, I think more than anyone else, at least in the era of my life, has the instrumental hits. He had Chameleon, he had Watermelon Man, he had these series of songs that really tapped the public consciousness and really, built a bridge from jazz to popular music in a way that no one else has ever done. I was recently listening to Mwandishi, which is one of his finest records. The work he did with that Miles Davis group with Tony Williams and Ron Carter and stuff. I mean, it's beautiful. Herbie Hancock is a national fucking treasure and should be lauded. We should have a holiday. All hats off, bow down, get on your knees, and thank God for Herbie Hancock.
Well said. Here you go. Another one.
I knew that one. Oh. Yay! P-Funk. Maggot Brain. It's the great Eddie Hazel playing guitar in the most, gut-wrenching way. And, I remember George, when I first started hanging out with George, and we were talking about it, and he was like, man, you just can't play like that until your heart has been shattered to smithereens and you have lost all hope. With such a beautiful sense of melody, and obviously he put in the work to have the dexterity and the ability to express himself. But man, it's so beautiful. I once had the privilege of playing with Eddie Hazel, and I will never ever forget it. This one's like the first time Chili Peppers ever went to Europe, and we opened up for Funkadelic at this festival in Germany. And there was just a moment on stage where I found myself just me and Eddie, a sound check in the daytime there. We're both plugged in, have our instruments. And I had this thing I was doing on the bass back then a lot, like this real fast kind of, this real fast slapping thing. And he was just gassing on it and started jamming with me, playing these fast rhythms. And we just locked in for about 5 minutes, looking at each other, just going for it. And I'll never, ever forget it. He was so, and he knew he was being generous with me and what it meant to me to do it, and but he was having fun too. And I was just in awe and hypnotized and transfixed. And on my new record, I cover that song Maggot Brain, playing trumpet with a group of woodwinds and vibraphone, and as an homage to Eddie Hazel, and of course George, who's my mentor forever.
Where did this record come from?
My record?
Yeah.
My heart.
And why now?
As a little kid, I played the trumpet, and then when I got in high school, I started playing bass, playing with my friends, started a rock band, took over my life for the last 45 years. But I always had sort of the jazz trumpet dream alive. It's always been like the guiding light for me, and the jazz music that I love has always been this beacon. It's one of those things where it's like, this is the high bar, and I'm always just, it's always there for me, and I always go to it. There's never been any point in my life when for comfort and feeling chaos or pain or whatever it is in the world where I can put on Miles Davis or Monk, just great jazz music and have that feeling like human beings can be beautiful. So about 3 years ago, I was like, if I don't play trumpet now and play it every day, I'll never have a chance to get good at it. So I kind of set my mind, I made a rule for myself, I'm going to play trumpet every day for 2 years, no matter what, and then I'm going to record a record, and that's what I did.
So what's your trumpet habit like? What does that look like?
It means no matter what, every day, whether I'm infuriating my wife or infuriating the hotel guests around me or
Always
whatever it is, I'm practicing my shit.
Yeah.
I'm just working on stuff.
Are you listening to music and playing along?
I'm more working really hard on the math of music, because that's a big stumbling block for me, is because I'm not educated. I grew up, I'm a street kid. I always throughout my life have relied on emotion and intuition to carry me through, and just like a yearning to do something beautiful. But to be a good jazz musician, you got to know all this cerebral stuff. Like when you hear someone playing jazz, they have studied intensely a very sophisticated language of music.
It's a combo, though. It's a combo. The great jazz musicians. It's like education, but it's so much more spirit, too.
It's all of it. You got to be firing on all levels, like spirit, emotion, spirituality, and the math of it. And I feel like I've been working on the emotion and the spirituality very diligently for a long, long time. But it's just that one part of the equation. And granted, there are great jazz musicians who never learned that shit.
Yeah.
But they learned it too.
Yeah.
In their own way. Like, look, man, these are the chords. You got to understand what are the notes in those chords and how do they fit together? How do they create tension? How do they create, eroticism? How do they create peace? How do they create, spirituality? Like all of those things.
Throw those back on.
Yeah. Bring it to me. If it brings me I love this song. Bad Religion by Frank Ocean.
Yes.
Frank Ocean is amazing. When he put out Channel Orange, it just floored me, man. And very rarely does that happen. I'll appreciate stuff. Oh, that's smart. It's clever. Oh, that guy's really poetic. Or I feel the pain being expressed. Frank's record just laid me out. I couldn't get enough of it.
Get the fuck out of here, you maniacs.
Uh-oh.
Are they talking to us?
No, this is a fire zone.
Yeah.
That's usually, and this guy just pulled up there, but it's clearly marked. You're right in front of the house.
The guy is being a dope. Yeah, I'm not I'm a person who doesn't follow the rules. I'm breaking the law, all the time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fire trucks or ambulances, no. Pull the fuck over, get out of the way, let them roll. That's one law that I, always respect no matter what. Anyways, Frank Ocean, that song Bad Religion, him coming to terms with himself so in such a vulnerable way, and speaking to someone he doesn't know, a cab driver, asking him to be a shrink, and doing it with a phrasing and a melodicism and an interesting instrumentation and recording, the way it sounds. I love it. I respect him and admire him so much.
So you had to do a cover.
So
an interpretation.
Yeah. So
do you call it a cover, or do you call it a
cover
interpretation?
Yeah, a cover interpretation, whatever, extrapolation upon a theme. But I was pretty true to the tune. I cover Thinking About You on my record, Honora. When I sat down, when I was like, okay, I've been practicing trumpet for 2 years, time to go make an album. And I started making little demos at home and putting together tunes that I wanted to do. And that was the very first one I did, that I had in my head. I just imagined playing that melody on the horn. It just felt natural and organic right away. So excited to have done it. It's just a beautiful tune. I don't know what to say. I just wanted to honor it. Let me just hear it for a minute. Is it Just Friends? Is that the tune? One of the most classic, biggest albums of all time. It's Charlie Parker with strings. Sometimes I'll go to see the orchestra play, the LA Phil, and I'll get the seat, it's right above the stage where you look down at them. It's kind of they're right below you. Uh-huh. And it's all these musicians, it's one instrument. The orchestra is one instrument. It's this throbbing thing and the way their arms all move together. It's so beautiful,
It's the birds, when the birds are flying together. And it looks like one animal.
Yeah, it is like that.
And that's the feeling of hearing the...
Yeah, and the way good ones can just fall in and play together right away with that so little preparation or whatever, they just know what to do. Reading the notes on the page, but it's one thing to read the notes, it's another thing to let the notes come through you. But anyways, that Bird with Strings album, it's a timeless, beautiful thing. And I always kind of shied away from it when I was younger, because I liked the idea of Charlie Parker as this rebellious, wild, drug addict maniac, you know what I mean, who just threw the fuck down and demolished everything that came before him. And it's true, he was all that. But as time goes by, just the beauty and the lushness of that as a statement, man, it's heavenly.
Here, I got to ask you about another guy.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know how you know this. I've been listening to this song lately. It's been my like every night before bed song.
Really?
Yeah. And it was the thing that before I made my record that I was listening to constantly, this album. And actually Warren Ellis from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, I'm a Dirty Three, who I, my friend and I love and respect very much. He turned me on to that album, which is Get Up With It by Miles Davis. And I didn't know it. Like I knew the albums around it, like around that, the early 70s, Electric Miles.
True.
Yeah, On the Corner and Big Fun and stuff. But I kind of missed Get Up With It. And the first track on it is called He Loved Him Madly. And it's like a half-hour long, just real minimalist, spare, harmonically simple meditation. And you think about what we call ambient music, and people always think of them. And I, even thought oh, well, the first time I heard ambient music was Brian Eno doing, music for airports. But Miles Davis was doing ambient music long before. If you ever want to set the tone with someone you're hoping to have an intimate relationship with, put that on, some candles, scented candles, you can't go wrong. If you're a human being and you've heard Miles Davis and you don't like it, you're an asshole. I mean, maybe you're not an asshole, you might be a nice person, but you're not listening. Truth is, all jokes aside, I'm lucky enough to, as a child, been exposed to all this shit. And when I was a kid and I first heard jazz, I had a stepdad who was a jazz musician in New York, and he would have people over and they'd play in a living room and really high quality bebop jamming. And as a kid, I was just just taken over by this Holy Spirit, like an old lady talking tongues in a Baptist revival meeting. It just demolished me. And it was just, to me, it was oh, this is what music is. It wasn't weird that it wasn't some abstract intellectual thing. It was just, this is what people do.
It makes sense that those are your two instruments, because the bass is the heart, the backbone to jazz in a lot of ways. But then the trumpet is the melodic line on the top where people are so expressive. The attraction of those two instruments is there's an obvious connection to jazz.
I mean, for sure there is, but with all music. I mean, it's you're talking about covering, Thinking About You. It's there's a melody, there's chords, there's a bass line, there's rhythm, there's harmony, and there's melody in all music, And I love the punk rock, I love Black Flag. I love The Clash. I love Fugazi. It's all relative. It's all the same building blocks, people using the tools that they have to tell their story, and that's everything. Without telling our stories, we shrivel up and die.
I'm just really loving playing these songs.
I'm just glad I'm not being a dumbass and not knowing the tunes.
I am a lineman for the county.
So this song, Wichita Lineman, Glen Campbell, thank you, man, for helping me with my record, because the songs I covered, I thought he was going to break out some live Coltrane from 55.
We're getting there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But this is an important song for you. That's why I'm curious.
It's just a great song. And when I decided to cover it, just because I love the Meters version of it, I then heard the Glen Campbell version. And, it's incredible. I watched live versions of him doing it, and, and I was trying to understand how the song works. And it's just a beautiful song. And when I recorded it, I intended on it just being an instrumental. I was going to play trumpet through the whole thing. I actually played this thing called a flumpet, which is a cross between a trumpet and a flugelhorn. It's kind of a mellower sound. But I was listening back to the track. We laid it down. Anna Butters on bass, Deontay Parks on drums, Jeff Barker on guitar. We all tracked it live together. It felt great. I was okay, we did it. It's cool. And then while I was listening to it, I was recalling a conversation I had with Nick Cave. And I haven't had many conversations with Nick Cave, and I love Nick Cave, so I remember them. Him expressing to me how much he loved Jimmy Webb. And I was listening to it we had this real, kind of low and dirty vibe on it. And I was man, maybe Nick would want to sing on this. He loves Jimmy Webb, and sent him the version. And within a half hour, he agreed. He was I'm going on tour in a couple of days, but I'll try to get in the studio. And he goes, he expressed this is such an incredible song. I'm a little intimidated to do it. And, I think 2 days later or whatever, I got it, click my email, bam.
I am a lineman for the county. I drive.
Most devastatingly powerful vocal, and now like his vocal is, I like his way better than Glen Campbell's.
I mean, his voice.
Or the guy. It's my favorite. I mean, I can't be objective about this.
You're doing well.
You know, the song, the greatest pianist to ever, the greatest pianist to ever walk on this earth is Art Tatum. And there's been a lot of great pianists, and that's crazy. I mean, Errol Garner and Stevie Wonder, and, you know, a lot of people played a lot of music on the piano, but the one that has left me in a state of awe the most is Art Tatum. In particular, the solo masterpieces, where he takes all these popular songs or, you know, standards and interprets them in such a, like, substituting different chords for chords, slowing down, speeding up as he feels it. There's no limit to what he can do. And he does it all. He'll play real simple and poignantly, or he'll go off on this flight of fancy that is just like the virtuosity is mind-boggling. You know, obviously I didn't know Art Tatum, but everything I've read is like he would play, you know, 10 hours a day regularly. He
reminds me of the thing, like the piano, like with the crank, where it's just like, he's a human version of like, it's just like, it's just going.
Yeah, and it could speed up the crank or slow down the crank
Exactly.
as he sees will. Yeah, I have this portrait of him in my house, this Art Tatum portrait, and the look in his face, like it's one of those things like I walk by every day, you know, and I'm going to make my coffee in the morning, or it's right on the way where I go to make my workroom, and I just see him, and oh man, he's so beautiful. That song is Willow Weep for Me, and I play Willow Weep for Me on my record too. I did like a synth version. We sent the whole track to my friend John Frusciante, who treated the whole thing, like ran it all through his modular synth and did reverbs and, you know, different things. It was so nice of him to do that in a real thoughtful, cool, musical way. Yeah, me up now? I got so many right, though, now I don't care. I could listen to that all day. It's Ambrose, right?
Yeah.
What song is that? I don't know the name of the song.
It's called Tide of Hyacinth.
Oh, Tide of Hyacinth, yeah. From that album, as kind of the greatest title of any album. I think my favorite book title of all time is The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, and that's a great book by Carson McCullers, Southern Lit. But that album is called The Tender Spot on Every Calloused Moment, which is such a great title. Ambrose has the best titles, but if I can ever play 100th, play the trumpet 100th as well as Ambrose Akinmusire plays the trumpet, I will have grown immeasurably.
Where do you see this music? Are there
there's jazz clubs, man.
Like to go to and...
Yeah. You know, I just, well, the other night, right here in New York is kind of the best. I was at the Vanguard the night before last, and I saw, sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now, but I saw the great trumpet player from Chicago, whose name, I knew this would happen to me. And I know his name. His name is Marquise Hill. And I'm just a dope. Sometimes I get, you know, did a lot of drugs as a small child, and I'd like to apologize. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm a valuable tool.
Okay, I'm going to stump you.
I deserve to be stumped. I don't fucking know it all. Rolling down Imperial Highway. The big nasty. Go Lakers! I left New York in 1972. I had just turned 11 years old. And I moved to Los Angeles, California. Since I was a little boy, I loved basketball. I loved Walt Frazier when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I loved the Knicks. I moved to LA. I went to school. I became a Laker fan real quick. I thought, you know, my only way to make friends in school was to just play basketball every day and hang out with kids and make friends. That's what I did. And I became a Laker fan. And they don't do it. I think they still do it once in a while, but they don't really do it. I mean, they should keep doing it. I hate when teams abandon tradition to be like modern, you know. And so at every Laker victory, particularly during the Magic Johnson era, after every victory, they play "I Love L.A." by Randy Newman, and you know, confetti drops from the ceiling, and we all jump around and go crazy, and you know, in a purple and gold frenzy. From the side. That's what that song means to me. But I got to say that, I have a music school in Los Angeles. It's a nonprofit music school called the Silver Lake Conservatory of Music. We teach 800 kids a week. It's been like a great blessing in my life. Started it 25 years ago, and it's just been this thing. Every year we have a big fundraiser, and one year we asked Randy Newman to perform, and he agreed. And, he's no spring chicken. And he showed up and fucking rocked, dude. Randy Newman showed up and threw down. And he didn't play I Love L.A., but he played a bunch of great songs. And, man, he's
amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's a great songwriter, great singer, sensitive man. Like, just an awesome, vulnerable, cool human.
It's called the Silver Lake.
The Silver Lake Conservatory of Music.
Okay, we're going to make a donation. Since you got all the songs right.
Wait, we got what?
Since you got every song right, we're going to make a donation.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
And how
shit.
you feeling about the Lakers this year?
I had really kind of lost hope for this season, but after the All-Star break, they're all kind of finding their place and how to work together. Yeah. And they were like, we got to start playing defense and coming with some serious energy.
Can we get a Knicks Lakers finals? That would be the dream.
Dude, I love it, and I can call up all my New York friends and just destroy friendships. Because let's face it, when it comes to basketball, I act like a 2-year-old, man, because I'm a fucking heckler. And I do honestly believe that my skill at being an evil heckler has changed the course of basketball games. I've thrown guys off with my verbal powers.
I've seen it.
But I don't do it anymore. Now I just, I clap for the good guys. Good. But it's not right.
It's your new era. Good to meet you.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no,
that was so
much for
fun.
having me.
Congrats on the new record.
Man, thank you.
Fucking incredible.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to it and taking the time to prepare for this thing.
Definitely.